Welcome to the show, everybody. This is a special edition of Wish and Well. Today's topic is going to be weather, only because in light of the hurricane, which honestly, I'm not really the best person to be talking to about this. I don't even know the hurricane's name, honestly. I don't really watch the news. I go outside, put my hand out. If it collects water, I guess it's raining, right? I mean, that's how people did it in the old days. Today, people are ready. They do things. They get together and they think and they do all kinds of stuff. But is that them that's doing things? Is that them themselves? Is that really what they would want to do? I mean, wouldn't they want to just get rid of the problem initially instead of try to solve it? Isn't that the first, reaction that people have when they try to solve things? I think it is, honestly. I mean, if you think about it, right? Your facade, your persona, these things that are not you are evolving and changing because, say you go to work, right? And, you don't want to go to work. Well, what do you think's being developed at that rate besides the work that's being done? It's not yourself. You don't want to do that work. You're not accepting the currency. Your facade is becoming stronger and more inept and more educated. There's more intellect there. But there's different levels to the soul. You know what I'm saying? Just like the brain has different aspects. Frontal lobe, cerebellum, cerebral cortex. Honestly, there is a difference. The brain actually is a tangible object, and the soul is more along the lines of the observer and metaphysics and stuff. But if you think about it, really, when you say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna map all of this, I'm gonna get all of this on paper so I can kind of retrace my steps and become more efficient and more of an intellectual. When you do that, you start to define things that are really kind of eye-opening, like maybe, for instance, the, possibility that the soul may be reconfigurable to an extent. You take 10 years, right? You say to yourself, I have 10 years to do anything I want, right? In the age of abundance, think about it. You have all the money, all the tools necessary that we have today to do whatever you want to do that you know how to do. And you say to yourself, I want to do something, I want to change myself, I want to be someone, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a cop, I want to be something other than a teacher or, a nurse or, a construction worker or a student. I want to graduate. I want to do something and change who I am, right? You start doing that. You got to have a standpoint. You can't just say, I don't believe in anything and let's just go from here. That's no rationale. You know what I'm saying? You say to yourself, I'm going to map this whole thing out and get a good handle on these things, or I'm going to see what the hell is going on. Either I know how to gauge my way or I help others do so. That's really what humanity's all about. You're talking about the first step in evolution. You know what I'm saying? The main event, the event horizon of all of observation. You as a human being get to see yourself come to life. You get to see yourself evolve for the very first time. You are on the ground levels, ground zero of life itself. It doesn't matter what the environmental envelope holds for you. It doesn't matter what Illuminati is doing in the background. It doesn't matter what hacktivists think that they could threaten you with. Scattered chickens is what I say to them. Want to know why? Because I'm an individual, folks, and so are they. Words don't mean anything. That's why rumors don't mean anything. But the persona, the facade, let's get back to that, because that's really the bread and butter of what it means to be a person, right? What it means to be an individual. You say to yourself today, you get up in the morning and you remember all the things you did yesterday. What do you say to yourself? I feel accomplished. Let's do more. There's nothing else to do right now but more. So we go ahead and we put forth our best effort to do more. And how does that happen, guys? One of two ways, and I kid you not, this is always going to be the case. You'll either have a resistance or resilience, because there's going to be against the grip. There's going to be against the grain. You got other individuals doing other things. Even if we're all similar, our activities can't be. We would all be the same person at that rate. And we're clearly not. So let's get on with ourselves and realize that this whole V-suit, silver lining, oneness idea where we're all going to meet up in some kind of rational point in time, and act the same and all get along, that's never going to be the case. We have to keep diversifying. See, if diversity is bringing us down, right, and we know to ourselves individuality is failing, what do? We don't turn around. Individuality failed. That's where we came from. You know, we came from a standpoint where we thought individuality was a good idea because we thought that, well, we knew it was better than the things we had then. You know, during the Industrial Revolution and the Great Depression, individuality sparked. It inflated an entire economy. And now what do? Now we're in debt because we don't know who we are anymore. We're trying to be individuals. Someone's so unique. It's so completely different. We don't even understand the concept. And what happens? We got to keep going, guys. It took a long step to pick up the heavy foot. That happens twice. You know? Think about it. Disproportion. People are always worried about doing something wrong. And not so much doing something wrong, but doing too much of it. Being too wrong or wrong too often. People are very worried about that. That's a valid concern. You know, it's valid. I wouldn't argue worry. There's no sense in doing that, right? But then again, there's no sense in worrying. Why would you want to worry if you're not debating? You know, if you're not saying to yourself, this could happen, that could happen, the what if ands, the possibilities. If you're just worrying and not answering these questions and seeking answers, you're not getting any work done. You obviously exhausted all of your options. You're switching gears. You're changing tracks. The whole course is completely different. You know, individuality works the same way. Once you get to a certain point where your facade would fare in better had you been more of yourself recently. Once you get to that point, guys, you know what time it is? It's time to regroup. It's time to say to yourself, this is failing. This is no good. We can't do this anymore. What we have to do, what I had to do as a person, you know, I would say to myself, I have to keep going and keep revamping. Less has to be going on right now so I can concentrate on moving things around and doing more and creating more entropy, you know, for the greater purpose of my individuality. Think about it, guys. What if, you know, how do you know who's telling the truth and who's not? You know, the only way you do is if when you talk to somebody, when you shake someone's hand, when someone pays you, you have something going on. There's something happening there. There's something to gauge. See, but when you start to say to yourself worrying and think, oh, you know, what if in that and blah, 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 what if this? You know, there's no one there to answer you. You're the one with the questions. Who's going to give you the right way? Who's going to give you the lead? Nobody. You have to take the reins. You have to say to yourself, okay, this is my body, this is my soul, this is my life. You know? I'm going to do this for me. And you may be asking yourself now, maybe you asked this before, what does this all have to do with the weather? I'll tell you what it does. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I want there to be contrast on my show. You want to know why? That's how people wake up. That's what people say to themselves, well, if something smells funny, there's a red herring somewhere. They either leave and exit, or they get to the bottom line. Exploratory argument, guys. What do you think weather is when the hurricane comes through? You think it's just a problem or a mistake? Some kind of ill consequence? No, it's none of that stuff. Circumvention, guys. That's accumulation of a compound interest. Those are cold fronts colliding. Kind of like brain theory, when the two brains collide for a big bang. You guys didn't know about that, did you? Thought I was just all talk until I started digging out the physics from my pocket. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I think you guys are really smart. Everybody is very, very intelligent. I want everybody to realize that somebody who knows more about the sand that you walk on has no idea why it's hot. For you or anyone else. Okay, have a good day, guys. Stay safe. In light of Texas, my prayers, and I'm sure the prayers of many others go out to, everything in general. I think that, just praying for the victims doesn't really solve the case. It's like a Band-Aid. I want to pray for everything again. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep praying in general. For God, for our Lord, for the people in Texas, for weather in general. I think everything needs a prayer. Everything needs a shove in the right direction. I think more entropy, less problems. Because you get people who take the time to figure things out. I'll leave you with that little thing too. I think you guys need that tidbit. But you go ahead and rewind that, listen to it again. I'm pretty sure you'll find a gem in there somewhere. Have a good day, guys. Peace.